Welcome everyone. My name is John Fedro with mobileHomeInvesting.net. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to answer another viewer's reader mail. Very important. In fact, this whole video is crucial to you gaining success and gaining momentum in this business. And what we're going to be talking about here is following up. Following up is crucial to your business. If you're just talking to a seller, okay, a seller of a mobile home that may be calling you or you're calling them, if you are just talking to them that one time over the phone, or you go and see them in person and you meet with them and then you give them an offer and then that's it. If you cut connections after that, whether they said, well, they're probably going to say no to you, because if they said yes to your offer, you wouldn't obviously not call them back. But if they say no to you, which many sellers do, sellers have this pie in the sky vision of what they want, and many times sellers can't get that, especially in today's market, and especially when we're talking about mobile home and manufactured housing. So if you call a seller Tuesday and make an offer, or start your follow-up sequence on a Tuesday, you first talk with that seller, perhaps you went to an appointment with that seller, perhaps you just talked to them over the phone. If you hang up that phone and you never call them back and they're looking to sell that mobile home, they're going to sell it to somebody. It may be an end user, it may be another investor, but it's certainly not going to be you. So whether you're talking to someone over the phone, and the only reason why you wouldn't ever want to call somebody back is if A, they sold it, B, it's like this burnt out shell of a home in Alaska or somewhere across the planet that you wouldn't even want to invest in. So more times out of 10 not, you're going to make an offer to someone, to a seller, and they're going to say no to it. Or you're going to express to a seller over the phone how you can help them, and they're going to say no to it. Just because they said no to you on that particular day, a temporary no is not a long-term chronic condition. We have to wait until that seller is at a point when they will be receptive to our offer, or they'll at least listen to it. We can get our foot in the door and we can start conversing with that seller once again. So let me go into this email that I got from Tim in California. And by the way, after I read this email, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the best way that I found how to keep in touch with sellers, or to kind of remind you and how easy this can really be. So it says, "Hey John, I know that you emphasize the importance about following up with sellers. How do I do this if I am talking to a dozen or more new sellers every week? Thank you, Tim in California." Tim, excellent. You should at least be talking to a dozen new sellers every single week. And again, the marketing that you should have out there should be attracting at least a dozen calls or so every single week. If you don't have those type of calls coming in, then you're doing something or spinning your wheels in a way that you need to change what you're doing, tweak what you're doing to be receiving more calls coming in, or you simply need to be dialing more sellers. So with that said, Tim, let's say that today is May 22nd. I like to call people, if I'm making them offers, I like to call them 5 days later, and then about 10 days later after I make that first offer, and then I kind of stagger it out. I don't bug sellers that say no to me once a week. That doesn't get them to like us, but I simply want to check in with sellers, and these are sellers that we've made offers to or we've talked to on the phone that nothing further has been done with that particular deal. So you have to stay in touch. If you're just burning bridges with people and you're giving them one offer and then you're going out and scrambling to find someone else to talk to, the chances of you hitting them right at the exact moment when they need to sell and they want to hear your offer is 1,000 to 1. I mean, it's very, very difficult. So we have to keep in touch with the leads that initially call us and the people who we know are selling mobile homes. Because again, if they're going to be selling a home, just because they don't sell it to anybody Monday doesn't mean that on Thursday they won't be ready to go ahead and talk to you in a more serious conversation. So here's what we do. You are going to proactively call sellers back. They may have kind of forgotten you after the first time they talk, but then once you call them back, you can remind them, hey, this is so-and-so giving you a call back from last week, and we talked about your property for sale, and actually we talked about you having to move because of so-and-so. Maybe there's family trouble, maybe they're being deployed, maybe there's a death or a job loss. So you kind of want to remind them, and then you can carry the conversation where you left to moving forward. Well, now I noticed that, is your property still for sale? Oh, it is. Okay, well, I just wanted to make you aware that we do have X, Y, and Z offers still available for you. And in fact, this is the reason why we can maybe offer you a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on how your sales strategy is going. But, John, how do I manage talking to all these people? Because, if I talk to 10 people on Monday, the 22nd, how do I know 2 weeks later, am I going to have Post-it notes all around my house? Like, how do I remember this? Well, I use a free program. The best one I found, it's the one I like. It may not be the best one out there, but it's the one I like. And it's very user-friendly, very easy, and it's free. It's called Rainlender, kind of like Calendar, but Rainlender. And this is it right here in the top right corner of my screen. As we've been talking, you've been looking at it. And real simple, the date is May 22nd. You can see that May 22nd is circled in red. I have all these different color days, and those are days that I have different tasks that I need to be performing. You see, I have upcoming events like a closing on Ramsey's property. On Thursday, I have to call back a number of people on Saturday. It gives me a nice kind of outlook on who I need to call back. I don't want to move my mouse because then I would lose all of this callback features here, but we can click on that in just a second. And then to-dos, I have 3 places that I need to see coming up. So let us create a new task. You say, John, how easy is this really? And by the way, when you have a task that the day comes when you have to do something, all these alerts pop up on your computer, so you will definitely not forget. Very customizable, very user friendly, and like I said, very customizable. So for being free, you get a very, very robust system. So you can see I have things coming up, and if we want, let's say tomorrow, Wednesday, we right click and we'll do a new event, and we'll put wash the caddy. All right, and I want to wash the car, so we'll create a new event. You can put a location in there. You can have a URL if maybe you're going to a webinar or something online. You can have a start time, end time. You can even categorize this as important or miscellaneous. I'm going to go ahead and put it important because I like a clean car, and hit OK. And then as soon as I did that, you have this important feature, wash the caddy, come up for tomorrow. And on my calendar, it's I can see that something is there. And when I scroll over it, it actually says what I'm supposed to be doing. You can move all of these around, these events, where you want to put them. You can even color the background of them. It's very user-friendly. Again, go to rainlender.net, or there'll be a link somewhere on this page. But rainlender.net, and it kind of forwards you to the /CMS and all that good stuff. But then you want to hit download, and it's free. There's a pro version, which you get a couple more features. It talks with Outlook or Google Calendar. So if you want to do that, I don't. But you can download the free version right here. Again, it's rainlender.net. And that's what I use to keep in touch with all of my sellers. In fact, kind of plan my days out. Now, something that I do want to bring up, let's take a look at this Saturday. I know that I need to start calling people back. So you can see, if we right click and hit edit event, that's when we can actually see, kind of go into what my notes are for what I need to do on Saturday. And I need to call back just these 6 people right here. These are ones that I'm soft negotiating closings with. And they have the phone number, and then you can also see page 66 or page 70 or page 68. And this is just my own personal little recipe, but I keep a lot of stuff on paper. I use the internet, but I like to kind of go old school sometimes and keep my notes on paper. When I'm in the car and I'm talking to someone, I'm not typically on the phone, or I'm not typically, in front of a computer, so I like to write things down. Well, page 68, page 70, they're all corresponding to offers I've made in the past or pertinent information about that seller. Again, when you talk to that seller, you don't want to just talk to them from like square one. Hey, do you remember me? This is so-and-so. I called last week and we talked about X, Y, and Z and about your property, and you related this, and I wanted to see if your property was still available. Oh, it is? Great. Oh, it isn't? Well, congratulations. Okay, that's the point of following up with sellers, and it's so important to do so because even if a seller has sold their home, mobile home sellers and owners know other mobile home sellers and mobile home owners or traditional properties. So that's my little answer to you, Tim, and for everybody I know asking this question and kind of We have a million things going on in this digital age. Even keeping up with emails is kind of a tough thing to do. So rainlender.net is a very free, fun thing to have on your computer. If you're on your computer every other day or every day, makes it easier. And following up with people should be in a strategic system of your business. Systemize your business and you'll realize things go much, much smoother. Treat your investing company like a business. Even if it's a hobby, treat it like a business, because businesses make money. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And ladies, if you have any questions, support at mobilehomeinvesting.net. And this is John Fedro. Out. Talk to you soon. Bye.